All right, so I'm here with Doug Karr from DK New Media, and I just have a few questions to ask you, and just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on some social media and digital strategy in general for your company. Tell me a little bit about yourself and about DK New Media.
Okay. Doug Karr, author of Corporate Blogging for Dummies. See, they're all right there.
There we are.
Corporate Blogging for Dummies helped actually start up Compendium, which is a blogging company here out of Indianapolis. Have been blogging for a long time on the marketing technology blog. I think I've been blogging for about 6 years now, which isn't a veteran blogger like some folks. But that's a long in blog years.
It's a long time.
That's a long time, and have a tremendous following on there. We probably get about 40,000 unique visitors a month on that blog, and it's a very, very centered. I don't worry about the numbers so much, but the core of it is CMOs and directors of marketing, DK New Media is basically the agency that I built up once I saw that blogging, I worked for ExactTarget with email and Compendium from a blogging standpoint, and started doing a lot of SEO and pay-per-click and all of these different vehicles. And what we saw was there was a gap in the industry as far as people that understood how to put all the pieces together and kind of conduct, Forrester calls it an omni-channel approach to marketing. And so what DK Media basically is we do some totally outsourced CMO, like a CMO for hire for some companies where they just don't have any resources. And then for other companies like, Cha-Cha, we're a trusted advisor that helps them. For folks like Web Trends, it's kind of a hybrid where we do a lot of the work, but they have incredible marketing minds internal. And our job is basically to prove ROI to our clients. So what we do more than anything else is inbound marketing, setting up analytics properly, getting a wholesale approach to this, adding a piece at a time, and then always showing them that you're getting a return on investment. Here's how to measure it. Here's how to measure it. And I think that's a differentiator in the industry that a lot of social media, especially, a lot of folks don't actually go for the ROI. They go for, we have 400 followers.
Right.
What does that mean?
Most companies now realize that they need to utilize social media in their marketing plans. Twitter, Facebook, blogging, things like that. What do you feel is the most effective medium for reaching consumers?
Ooh, that's a good question. We tend to stray away from that question and more go, let's figure out where the audience is. So some of our clients, the audience is on Facebook, so that's where we want to meet them. But then there's advantages and disadvantages of that platform too. So maybe your audience is there, but are they ready to buy? Are they really ready to engage with your business? I think we tend to back up and go a different route, and we say, let's test all the mediums. Let's test Twitter, let's test LinkedIn, let's test Facebook, let's test blogging, let's test all these things and start to measure what the reaction is. And over time, start to hone in and say, okay, we're getting more out of this, so let's start investing more there. So I don't know if that answers the question or not, but B2B clients sometimes gravitate towards LinkedIn more. Our small businesses tend to do really well on Twitter. Large businesses that have a large following, sometimes can get traction in Facebook. So it all depends on what the mix is.
Okay, great. Quick follow-up about blogs that you mentioned. How important are blogs to a digital strategy?
Yeah, blogging's dead.
Yeah.
We hear that.
You
all
hear
the
that?
time.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's people from outside the industry that think blogging is dead because they can't even recognize what a blog is anymore.
Right.
So a typical website that has a blog, it just looks like a website. People don't even realize. Blogging it's the engine to the car. like I feel that it did what the production line did for Henry Ford. You know, that now we're able to take and put out content as often as we want and represent it well in social, in search, maybe integrated to other platforms, syndicated out through other mediums, even in email, and do it really effectively and do it with minimal effort.
Right.
So I tend to look at blogging when clients culturally are able to blog.
Right.
You know, when they have the resources, when they have the time, when they have the patience, you know, because it's a momentum game that's a long-term strategy. Blogging winds up becoming a real centerpiece to the strategy that people are coming from Twitter to the blog to a call to action to a landing page, and then, you know, coming into the company or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. And it winds up being that blog typically that, you know, a unique post that's relevant to a specific person at the right time that winds up drawing them in. So it's a centerpiece for, you know, it's definitely a centerpiece for DKD Media. You know, Marketing Tech Blog is our, you know, that's the center of the universe for everything we're doing.
Yeah. You know, you definitely come from a technical background. I mean, obviously knowing a lot of code and things like that. What are some things, or maybe even just one thing, that you wish organizations knew or understood about social media metrics and tracking and ROI and things like that?
I've always spoken about social media as an amplifier, and blogging is part of social media too. You know, I think we tend to now differentiate and say, well, there's blogging and there's social media because social media is Twitter and Facebook. No, it's, you know, it's all one thing, but social media is really an amplifier in the industry. So when you look at like how what PR accomplishes, right? And I'm a proponent of having a PR firm. We have one for ourselves. They amplify the message. You do something special, and then you get the word out where the audiences are and where people care about it. And with social media, that's exactly what I see too, is companies that have this great foundation and they have information that people want to know about and things that people will be amazed about. When they utilize social media to get that message out, it just amplifies it and it gets it into the right hands and where people can react and come back. That's the biggest thing. I don't think it's, I think a lot of people are making the mistake of thinking there's social media and then there's email and then there's this and all these silos. And social media isn't something that you hire an intern to do a tweet for you.
Right.
You know, social media is something that has to be integrated into everything you're doing. When we put out a press release for one of our clients, we have an integrated social media campaign for that to measure results. When we do email, you know, we're promoting social media in our email, and then we're also promoting our email with social media, you know, to get retention. So it's a cog in a whole machine, you know, and too many people just think of it as an isolated piece.
Right.
I'm just going to blast, you know, out social media, not monitor, not react, not measure.
Right.
And then they look at it and they go, this was a big waste of time. We're not getting any results.
Yeah.
Well, of course you're not getting results. So.
Right.